Okay, great.
Yeah, yes. Good evening.
Great. Good evening. It's so good to have you. Can you hear me? Can you see me?
Yes, I can see you now. It's clearer now.
Oh, okay, better. I think we should
Yeah.
take the time to apologize
Okay. But let me
for
just quickly,
the
it's supposed to be your live. So is this going to be reflecting on your page as well, or how do you carry your followers along? Does it automatically
um
synchronize?
yes, I think so. I hope so. I hope that um now that it has shown that we are live, I hope that it comes
Okay.
up online and they can see it.
As well. Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
I think we should just do it. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to maybe copy the link and post it later. I'm not sure, but I mean, it's better than nothing. We've been struggling and struggling. You couldn't join my live, right? You couldn't join my
Yes, I
live.
couldn't join. Yeah.
Yeah. I noticed that you couldn't join my live. Instead, you were able to do it from your page. So perhaps we can just get on with it. Okay, so
Okay.
guys,
Okay. Good.
everyone, thank you so much. You've been really, really patient with us today.
Thank you
My
for being
name,
patient,
thank
everyone.
you. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining and being patient. My name is Jane Bernard. I'm a public health expert. My background is in physical therapy, rehabilitation, sports medicine, and I will be moderating this session today. I work as a fitness consultant for Fitsplurge, as the lead consultant for Fitsplurge. And today I will be moderating the session with Deborah. It's so good to have you. Actually, the first time I'm meeting you,
Thank you.
but
Thank
but
you.
yeah,
Nice to
yeah,
meet
I'm
you.
happy. I'm happy that you can still smile and we can still have a good time regardless. Let's forget about Nigerian network and smash this, okay? Um, so
Okay.
Deborah, can we meet you? Can we meet you? Can you tell us about you?
Okay. My name is Deborah Onoja. I'm a registered nutritionist dietitian and the lead dietitian for Sapphire Dietitians. I have a bachelor's degree in nutrition and dietetics from Federal University of Abeokuta. I have an MSc from University of Ibadan, MSc in human nutrition. And I also had my internship training where I qualified to sit for the test of professional proficiency, after which I qualified to be a registered dietitian. I have I've consulted for a couple of hospitals, reputable hospitals, especially in Lagos, Reddington Hospital, Premier Specialist Medical Center, Rainbow Specialist Medical Center, ML Hospital, and just to mention a few. And I still consult for some of them. So I founded Sapphire Dietitians out of passion to help people eat healthier, especially my patients. I realized that people don't go to the hospitals except they are sick. And then there are a lot of people that are actually sick, overweight, they have high blood pressures, and they're probably just taking medication and not really watching their diets. And then even those that probably are overweight, they don't get to go to the hospital to manage their weight. They just live with it until they have a complication. And then I also realized there were not a lot of dietitians sitting in hospitals at the time um, I got licensed. So, and people have phobia going to the hospital. So they prefer to, I noticed people prefer to talk to me on a neutral ground than, talking to me in the hospital. They wouldn't come to the hospital, but they prefer to see me elsewhere. Yeah. So, and I also looked at the preventive aspect of especially lifestyle related diagnosis. I was worried about people waiting until they are sick before they start to eat healthy. I was worried about people waiting until they were in their 50s before they start to eat healthy. So I thought to start something that can help people prevent, a lot of this diagnosis. So that was what bettered Sapphire Dietitians. So that's it. And then today, and then let me now move to the COVID aspect of it because it's the immune system we're talking about today. So yeah, So when COVID started, I got really agitated, and a lot of my clients were calling to know what they should do, what not to do, and all of that. And I got agitated myself because as frontliners were the first point of call, and you really don't know because sometimes it's asymptomatic, and people, you wouldn't know who is infected and which surface is. And if you go to hospitals, they are likely to be at risk of, oh, she couldn't join me anymore. Oh my God. Oh my God, the network. Uh-oh. Okay. Oh, wow. Oh, no problem. Okay, so I'll just keep on talking while you try to join back Fitsplurge. Yeah, so I was trying to hold on for you. So as soon as you send another request to join in, I'll just do a recap and okay, great.
Okay, did you end it?
No, I didn't. I didn't end it. I was still here. You just went off. I think it was network.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Yes, I was talking about. Okay. Okay, can I go on?
Yeah, you can go on. I don't know why I'm losing myself now.
Okay, great. So I was talking about. Okay, great. So I was talking about why I went on to write the ebook on how to boost your immune system. Okay. Yeah, so I was talking about why I went on to write the book on how to boost your immune system using Nigerian foods, herbs, and spices. And then I also mentioned that when I started to write the book, it opened my eyes a lot more to, local food materials actually contain immune boosting properties. Some of them I have been using on myself, my family, and my patients, but I didn't directly relate it to the immune system. I related it more to blood pressure management, heart health management, weight loss, and all of that health benefits. But I didn't relate it to immune boosting. So yeah, writing the book opened me up to a lot of food materials that actually have very good immune boosting properties. And then so I read the book, I started writing, and then I realized there was a whole lot I needed people to know. I didn't know that there was so much information that regarding the immune system that I had disseminated to my clients in bits and pieces. But by the time I put it up into a book, I realized, wow, I had disseminated all of this information, from time to time, weekly, daily, bi-weekly, and then, put it in, and then, adding more flesh. I learned that I just realized that there's a lot of information that, I had to actually share with people. So that prompted me to work very hard to see that the book came out earlier. In fact, I had to stop at some point because there were a lot of recipes that I was coming up with. And I'm like, no, it's okay. It's just have this thing launched so that people can get to read. So yes, immune system is it's our nutrition plays a very important role in boosting our immune system. Aside our hygiene that helps us to prevent, our diet also helps us to prevent and then manage infections. I'll talk very much about COVID because that's the major infection that is, ranging worldwide now. So first of all, the first thing we have to look at is that if you have an underlying condition, your dietary management for supporting or boosting your immune system is different from every other person that doesn't have an underlying condition. For instance, if you're diabetic, you can't do as much fruit juices or as much of some food materials as if you are not diabetic. You have to be very portion control conscious. And then if you also are on blood thinning medications like aspirin, you can't do some of these food materials because they're also high in vitamin K. So, you know, the underlying diagnosis that you have determines how which of the regimens you can experiment with while boosting your immune system. So that means that you don't pick anything online and then just go ahead to start to implement. And especially if you also have peptic ulcer, you can't just pick anything online and start to experiment, because it may have an adverse effect on you, your health condition, or your medication. Yes. So the first thing, aside your underlying condition, the next thing you're also have to look at is that boosting your immune system means you have to eat healthy, first of all, to start with. Because when you have an infection, it weighs your body system down. So it's important that you don't allow yourself to come up. Sorry, excuse me, what? In 20 minutes time. Please tell the driver to go. Tell him to come by 6 a.m. Very early. We are going to church early. Yes. So, sorry about that. Is it network? Yeah, so it's very important that we watch what we eat to prevent us from coming up with other diagnoses, and then in course of doing that, also support our immune system. So we have to eat a balanced diet, the healthiest form of all the nutrients. We have to eat carbohydrates, we have to eat protein, we have to eat fat, we have to eat vitamins, we have to eat minerals. When I say eat, I use the word eat because I don't mean swallow capsules or tablets. I mean not supplements, but eat them. Now, why am I saying eat? Because one food cannot contain only one nutrient. Yes, like we pick, let's say oranges, for instance. We know that orange is, is known to be very high in vitamin C. But orange is not just vitamin C. Orange has B vitamins. Orange has fiber as well. So you can't get only vitamin C from orange. And then if you're supplementing, it's appropriate nutritious meals. Yes, I wouldn't want to say nutritious meals for starters. Yes, I want to say all nutrients in adequate quantity for starters. Then we now move into nutritious meals as we go on. Now, if you're so it's very important that we eat our nutrients and not just take it in form of supplements. Now, because if you're supplementing, there's something we call toxicity of nutrients as well. If you're supplementing and you're eating an adequate diet, there will be toxicity of whatever nutrients you're supplementing with. So it is only when you are at very high risk or you probably cannot absorb that particular nutrient that you have to supplement with that particular nutrient. So eating your nutrients is very important. But however, you have to eat the healthiest form of all nutrients. You have to eat the healthiest form of your carbohydrates. You have to eat proteins in the healthiest form, not the processed proteins. You have to eat your meat, your lean meat. You have to eat your eggs. You have to eat your nuts. You have to eat, your proteins in the healthiest form. You have to eat your fat as well, the healthiest form of fat, not saturated fat, not trans fat. You take oils that are very, very healthy. You remove all the fat on meat because fat deposits on meat contributes to fats that goes into the food. And those fat deposits on meat are saturated fat that can, make us come down with some heart-related conditions, hypercholesterolemia, that can, lead to some heart-related conditions. So healthy forms of fat, then healthy forms of minerals, and healthy forms of vitamins. Minerals, you get that minerals come as part of some food material, as form of carbs, as form of protein. Minerals also come as form with other food materials that have vitamins as well. So like I said, one particular food cannot contain just one nutrient. So you have to eat from all the different food classes, but you have to choose the healthiest form of these food classes. So the next thing is we now have to look further to see the food materials that have the nutrients that play a key role in boosting our immune system. Our immune system is a very complex system, and then it helps us to fight infection. If not for good immune systems, we would not be able to fight infections effectively. We'll probably be coming down with cold and every other day, and then a lot of us would have probably even come down with COVID because aside helping us to prevent, hygiene helping us to prevent, our immune system also helps us to, fight. So even when one gets infected, because a lot of people would have been infected, they have been healed, and then a lot of people would still get infected. But how we are able to manage it is how healthy our immune system is. So, and that's why the elderly is at very high risk, because their immune system is suppressed already. And their immune system is not as efficient as those of us that are younger. So it's very, very important that we actually know what nutrients play important, aside a balanced diet, a certain nutrients that helps to support our immune system. And because of time, I know we had spent a lot of trying to connect. So I wouldn't want to go too in-depthly. I'll just go straight to the point, to the nutrients that helps to boost our immune system, and then what food materials we can find these nutrients. And I'll give some tips on how to incorporate these ingredients into our diet. So the first one is vitamin C. Yes. The first one is vitamin C. Vitamin C it's very, very, very crucial. So there's this misconception that you have to live on fruit juices to get enough vitamin C. So immediately COVID came, everybody started doing fruit juices, because that's what helps us to boost our immune system. But fruit juices is not the only way. Fruit juices, yes, helps us to absorb more of the vitamin C, reduces the fiber content of the food, and then it helps us to absorb the vitamin C faster. But however, we don't have to live on fruit juices alone. We can eat our fruits to get fiber, and also to get.
Especially for sick people, for people like.
Yes,
I said especially for sick people like diabetics. Exactly. Yes. If we say this is the only way, then we're excluding a whole group. I mean, how will these people survive? They actually need to boost their immune system as well. So there's the need for us to explore a variety of options. Okay, so we can mix and match. Yeah, sorry for cutting you short. I'm so sorry. We had to really point that. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, great. So we have to, aside taking fruit juices, there are other food materials that contain vitamin C. Food materials like zobo, hibiscus, it's very high in vitamin C. Food materials like baobab powder is very high in vitamin C. Now, these food materials do not have a high glycemic index that can spike up our blood sugar level, but it has a good content of vitamin C that can actually help to support our immune system. So the next one we have to look at is the B vitamins. We also need B vitamins to also help to support our immune system. B vitamins we can get we have different kinds of
bell pepper.
Yes, we have B1.
You forgot bell pepper.
Yes, bell pepper for vitamin C as well. Yes, bell pepper for vitamin C as well.
That's my go-to.
Okay, great, great. Mm-hmm. Yes, and then kiwi fruits, have great sources of vitamin C. Pineapple has great source of vitamin C and all of that. Now, I know there are some very popular vitamin C foods that everybody knows. So I'm trying to touch on those ones that people really don't know. Does it really contain as much vitamin C? Okay. Yes. Yeah. So another one is B vitamins. We have different kinds of B vitamins, and we can get these B vitamins from fruits, from grains, from protein, like animal protein as well. Like B12 we find in animal protein. We find folate in vegetables. We find folate in vegetables. We also find in fruits. We find B1 in grains. Whole grains are very great in B1 vitamins. So that's why I said you can't get one nutrient from one food. So we have to eat a variety. And then we also have zinc. Meat in lean meat as well, like chicken and beef. Then we also have to talk about the, so I mentioned vitamin C, I mentioned B vitamins, I mentioned zinc already. I also would mention probiotics. Probiotics are also very important because they help us, aside boosting our immune system, we also have to ensure that we have a good gastrointestinal health. Now, we can feed ourselves with a whole lot of food materials. But however, if our GIT is not very well efficient, we will not be able to absorb the nutrients that we get in this food. So aside probiotics playing an important role in boosting our immune system, probiotics also help us to maintain a good bacteria flora around our GIT and help us to move our bowel efficiently. When we move our bowel efficiently, there won't be as much pressure on the GIT. So we'll be able to go to the bathroom at the regular times to go to the bathroom. And then we'll also be able to, so when we eat in whatever food that we consume, we're able to absorb the nutrients in the food materials very, very efficiently. So probiotic sources are yogurt. We know yogurt is very good in probiotics. But another one that we don't know much is pap. Pap is very high in probiotic. So we have to take pap. And then locust beans as well. Iru is also very great in probiotics. So we have to take Iru as well. That's locust beans, Iru, dawa dawa, or what have you. Then palm wine also has probiotic. But however, most palm wines that we find are already very much fermented. So the alcohol content is really high and all of that. So yes, we can cut down on palm wine. Of course, where would we find palm wine in Lagos? But if you are around the yes, you can take a glass of fresh palm wine. It helps to boost your immune system. It has good probiotics that helps to boost your immune system and also improve your gastrointestinal health. Then vitamin A as well is very important. We can't be wrong when we consume carrots as a source of vitamin A. Palm oil also has a good source of vitamin A. But however, we have to ensure that our palm oil is taken moderately and has to be organic source of palm oil that is used, and then not those ones that have been adulterated. So buy palm oil from a reliable source and use it moderately. Palm oil is not your enemy at all. Palm oil is not your enemy. You have to take palm oil, but in the right quantity. So healthy fats, basically. Now, some nutrients come as part of fats. Some other nutrients, especially the fat-soluble vitamins, come as part of fatty food materials. So we can't neglect our oil, especially palm oil. Vitamin E, vitamin A comes as part of our palm oil composition. So we can't neglect palm oil. Soya oil is also great. Olive oil is also great. What other oil? Sesame oil is also very great. So we can do sesame oil, or we can do the sesame and use it to make soup. Use it as part of our soup recipe. Then, so I'm just trying to quickly, So that's that about some of the nutrients. Then some herbs also play a very important role. Herbs and spices play a very important role. I'll make my ebook available to some of your followers. I already made it available to some of my followers. I gave it out to some of my followers, so I wouldn't have to share with them anymore. But I'll make available to some of your followers, 2 of your followers, so that they can get to read more about the topic and then have access to as much information, more information, and get more recipes and be able to play around with their diet, a little more. So herbs and spices also play a very, very important role in managing our immune system. Now, we carefully selected some herbs and spices that has been very well researched on, and we also have tried it on ourselves, on our patients, not for immune boosting, but for other health benefits. But however, it came up with immune boosting benefits. We have herbs that we've recommended for probably weight loss or blood sugar control, and then patients come back to tell us that these herbs actually help them to stop flu. It reduced their frequency of contracting cough and all of that. So we can also, and then alongside with all the research that has been published online, we can confidently say that these herbs have very good immune boosting properties. So we have turmeric. Turmeric is very good to boost our immune system. We have ginger, we have garlic, we have echinacea, we have what other herbs? I'm trying to look through. So we have so ginger is very, very important. We already know ginger. We already know garlic.
I don't know. If we would,
sorry.
I don't know if we would classify. I don't know green tea, the moringa, and the rest. Whether they'll be classified under.
Yeah, I don't want to do. Moringa has a lot of good plant protein, and it also has a lot of micronutrients. But I don't want to classify moringa as immune boosting. Yes, moringa comes as part of our recipes, but I didn't classify in my book and from my research. I didn't classify it as immune boosting because I wanted food materials that works directly with our immune system, and not those ones that would boost our health, a whole lot, and then work and not directly on our immune system. So I worked with food materials that can help, within a short period of time, help us to really, really support our immune system. That was what I realized people needed at that point. Then, so very, very importantly, how do we incorporate these food materials into our diet? And tamarind as well helps to boost our immune system. And tamarind has high source of vitamin C. So how do we, I'll move into how we can why we can incorporate these food materials into our diet so as to help to boost our immune system. I talked about gastrointestinal health. I've also talked about food materials we consumed being close in texture as water. So now, what we eat in the morning, the first thing we consume is very, very important. My clients don't go without doing morning therapies. Even before the COVID, we always do morning therapies because we understand how important it is to move your bowel, and we understand how important it is to have food-like food materials, especially on empty stomach, first thing in the morning. So now these herbs and some spices are what we recommended for morning therapy. There was one that is very, very fantastic and has been really helping to support myself and my patients, which is the onion peel in lemon. So the onion peel has a lot of antioxidants. It has, and then it has a majority of the antioxidants is concentrated on the onion peel. But many a times we discard the onion peel because we don't know what to use it for. So what we do is we cut the onion peel, we wash it, and then we boil it in water. So after we have done boiling the onion peel, we squeeze a bit of lemon juice into it, and then we sieve, then we drink. That's morning therapy using onion peel. This morning therapy is very, very fantastic. One thing about it is, aside the fact that it contains lemon, of course, we know lemon has vitamin C. It also helps us to absorb the antioxidants we find in the onion peel. And then it also helps us to be able to move our bowel early in the morning. So by the time we move to have our breakfast, it is very well absorbed. Black seed is another very, very effective herb that is very, very good for boosting our immune system. My clients don't go without black seed. We don't run out of black seed in the clinic. Before the COVID, we always use black seed. We use it for morning therapies. We use it as part of our juices. We use it for hibiscus drinks. It always forms part of our recipes. So this is a very, very interesting story. I'll just quickly share the story because it might motivate some people to actually start to work with recommendations before they come up with any kind of diagnosis at all. So when the COVID started, my clients, they were, Debbie, what are we going to do? Dietitian, this COVID, what do we eat? What do we do? I had been sharing tips with them. I always mentioned black seed, So, but they didn't know that they didn't imagine that it's a new diagnosis, for heaven's sake. So black seed that we have been using since, is that what is actually going to help us to manage COVID that just came? Dietitian, look for another miracle for us. We need to hear something else. And of course, I had done my research. I have done everything. I have my what you need. So they just continue doing it, and I kept on, because sometimes, especially at that point, even medical practitioners were fidgeting because it was something very new. So I just had to keep on giving tips, and we had to keep on following up on clients and all of that. So when the testimony came from Oyo State Governor that he took black seed, he took lemon, carrots, people started calling, really, this black seed, we didn't know that you were actually supporting us. What did you expect me to do when I'm not like this? I'm the Holy Spirit. Because it's new, you feel that probably we haven't gotten to that level in the medical field, so we have to probably go and I have to wait for another. But of course, the research is there, so we just have to start to implement as much food materials that we know can boost the immune system, and then hopefully, we just expect that it's able to help you prevent and fight COVID alongside with hygiene. Thankfully, we started getting testimony. So black seed, guys, you have to have black seed in your house. I recommend black seed powder, because a lot of black seed oils in the market are not are either adulterated, or they are not good to consume orally, because of the way with which they are extracted. Some of them also have added other oils, carrier oils that have been added to it. So those ones that already have been processed, they are not good to consume orally. But you can have black seed powder, because black seed oil is made from the black seed itself. The oil is extracted using a machine. Now, those black seed oils that we buy for 2.5, they should be used topically and not consumed orally. To get black seed oil, as much as 100 mils, you should be spending as much as 7,000 naira to get black seed oil. There are people that actually I trust that make black seed oil. But what we use in the clinic is black seed powder, not black seed oil, because we don't extract the oil. So black seed powder is what we recommend. And like I said, black seed oil is extracted from black seed. And black seed powder is just the black seed milled. So the black seed powder still has the oil intact. When it is, applied, when pressure is applied, the oil is extracted from it. So to get the best of benefits, go with black seed powder, or you can buy your black seed whole and mill it at home. Very great to consume as morning therapy. It works very, very well to help regulate your blood sugar level, alongside with a diabetic diet. It helps to regulate your cholesterol levels. It helps to regulate your blood pressure. It also helps for weight loss. It has a lot of good antioxidant and phytochemical properties. And the most especially, it has antiviral properties. So it is great for immune boosting. So black seed also come as part of morning therapy. Black seed powder in hot water with a bit of lemon. I always like to add lemon because people cannot really tolerate the taste of some food materials when they consume it alone, especially in the morning. So it is best to consume with lemon, because lemon has a bit of sour taste, and it can help to, twist and then help you to be able to drink that in the first thing in the morning. So yeah, black seed with lemon as morning therapy is great. Turmeric also it's also great as morning therapy. But however, if you have peptic ulcer, turmeric is not what you should take on empty stomach, because it can aggravate the ulceration. Now, we also that is about morning therapies. There are also other recipes that you can use as part of your morning therapy. Then another thing we have to look at is your how you incorporate these food materials into your main meals. Like someone rightly said, you eat nutritious meals. But nutritious meals means you eat a balanced diet, but you have to ensure that more of the nutrients that you need, food materials that have the nutrients that support your immune system, is added to the food materials. So Zobo drink we shouldn't run out of Zobo drink at this point, because we know that it's high in vitamin C, and Zobo is cheap. Zobo is not expensive. So you can just buy your Zobo and process it at home by yourself. If you buy one paint container of Zobo, it's about 800 to 1,000. You can use it for a whole week. If you buy oranges, before you may not be able to, it may not last you for as long. But it's vitamin C that you need, you also find in hibiscus. So you take your oranges with the fiber, and you also, take Zobo, so as to help you get as much vitamin C as you need. You see, if you take Zobo and you take your oranges, you don't have need to do any vitamin C supplement. Also, pineapples, if you're not diabetic, pineapples are also very great to help to increase your your vitamin C intake. Then another thing we also want to talk about, what we'll move on to talk about is how to incorporate these food materials. So now, if you're cooking your soup, you have to make sure that you add iru to your soup. So this is not the time to be forming tush. This is a time to actually see what actually benefits you. So iru, the locust beans, should form part of your okra soup. The locust beans should form part of your sesame soup. The locust beans should form part of your jollof rice. So your jollof rice should be something like native jollof rice. And talking about jollof rice, scent leaves also helps to support our immune system. Likewise, uba, the local uba, the one that the Igbos use, is also very good because it's fermented. You know, probiotics is gotten from fermented food. So uba is fermented. Uba has good source of plant protein, and it also helps to boost our immune system. So when we are cooking an okra soup or a vegetable soup, we can add uba to the vegetable soup. We can also add what's it called now, locust beans to the soup, the vegetable soup or the okra soup. We can also add
garlic, onions, you know.
Yes, we can. But however, I'm trying to go, of course, we always add onions to our meals, you know, but if we are making this food material.
A lot of people don't even know garlic, you know, like garlic. A lot of people don't understand that, you know, those, you can chop it a lot and put it, highest is the smell that will turn you off. Yeah, but
Okay,
when you look at the benefit.
Yeah. Yes, when you look at the benefit.
Okay, I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. It's fine. You actually, that's what's supposed to be. You're actually moderating, so you're helping me to guide my, and I appreciate that.
No, yeah, actually, I know sometimes, you know it, you feel like you've said it, but you don't know that you actually haven't mentioned it. So
yes, that's true. Yeah, so it's very important that we, you know, add that. And then onions. My clients don't go without onions. I'll tell them, put 1 bulb of onions in your food. If you are making eggs, use 1 onions. Because onions is vegetable. Onions is vegetable as well. People don't know that onions is vegetable. They think it's just the green vegetables that are vegetable. Onions is also vegetable. Use 1 whole onions. So now that we are doing a lot of morning therapies using onion peel, we have a lot of onions to cook with. So use 1 onions as part of your meal. So if you are making eggs, use 1 onions, 1 egg, 1 onions. If you're making your vegetable sauce, use as much onions as you should. Then garlic and ginger shouldn't, you shouldn't go away from your regimen. You should always have garlic and ginger as part of your dietary regimen. So locust beans, garlic, ginger are very, very, very important. They help to make the food more palatable. My ebook will tell you more about monosodium glutamate and why we should reduce consumption of consuming Maggi. We shouldn't take as much Maggi as, we just need just a little bit of the Maggi. And I made recommendations for some Maggi options that are very, very low in monosodium glutamate, that are low in sodium. So if you want to do Maggi at all, go for Royco. Royco sodium content is very low. So if we don't need as much sodium, we get sodium from some vegetables. We get a bit of sodium from food materials that we consume, from our dried fish preserved with salt, from a bit of our locust beans preserved with salt. So we don't need so much of sodium in our diet anymore. So Royco has the lowest sodium content out of all the Maggi, the bouillon cubes that are in the market. So we would go for Royco, and just a little bit of it is what we need in our diet. So
Royco, you need to pay us for this free advert. You need to pay us.
Oh yeah, I wasn't going to mention, but I just remembered I'm giving out just 2 copies to people, and then I just have to, so that more people will get to, get that information.
At the end of the day, I think I like the fact that you're coming from a very passionate place, and you're not holding back those information that you think that will be beneficial. So very well done. And Royco will still find a way to contact you after this, and do a kind donation. Just corporate social responsibility, supporting those passionate people. Very well done. Okay, so
yes, and then there should this will also prompt them to, and prompt other companies to also make healthier options and not just look for how palatable these food materials,
Yes.
So
we wake up. And you know, every day we have new ones. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
recently, I don't want to drop names, but I saw the advert for one of them, and it was like they were using natural materials. They showed the
Okay.
process where they were using like whole foods and all that. I'm like, this is a great development. So hopefully more companies can
Would
take a
come up with
cue
healthier,
and
yeah.
understand that it's about the health of the people, not just about you getting, you know, high ratings
Mm-hmm.
that your food is tasty because you're using a particular cube. But more
Mm-hmm.
importantly, the effect it has on the consumer. So
Mm-hmm.
very well done for pointing that out.
Yeah,
Thank you
yeah,
so
you're
much. Okay.
welcome. Yeah, so we have to see that we cannot consume any of these ingredients alone. So we also always have to see how to add it to food materials. So ginger, garlic, turmeric should also we always form part of our soups. We are making soup, we put a lot of onions, we put a lot of ginger, we put garlic, we put turmeric. Turmeric always go with black pepper because black pepper is what helps to help us to get the active ingredients in the turmeric. So we always have to see that. So our stew should be something like a herbal stew right now. It shouldn't be this stew that, that's so, it should have a bit of the ginger and the garlic taste in it because that's what we need. Aside boosting our immune system, we actually need that to help for our blood pressures, for our lipid profiles, for weight loss, and other health benefit. Then we also
And
have
even
to, yeah, and
clean
then we
and all
also have,
that.
sorry?
I said at the end of the day, it's all about training our test boards. You know,
Mm-hmm.
our test boards have been so used to the other ones. You find that when you start incorporating this and, you know, try it a few times, your test boards will adapt. So,
Mm-hmm.
and if we say this is what we need, I mean, why not? It's worth it. It's worth the stress, if we call
Yes,
it
it is.
stress, that
Yeah,
is.
yeah. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
It is. Mushrooms also, talking about the taste buds, mushroom also, though it doesn't have a direct relationship with the immune system, but mushrooms can be a very great alternative to the bouillon cubes. You add mushrooms to your food, you don't need to add any kind of Maggi at all. Not even the Royco that I was talking about. If you add mushrooms to your
Really?
food, yes, it makes the food really tasty. You won't even realize that you didn't add any Maggi to it at all. But mushrooms can
Wow,
be
nice.
pricey. Yeah, mushrooms. So if we can afford to do mushrooms, we would realize that we don't need any of the bouillon cubes at all in the
Yes,
diet.
yes.
We can make the food really tasty. So, but if you can't find mushrooms powder, dried mushrooms, or fresh mushrooms, go for Royco cubes. It's the best alternative amongst the bouillon cubes. So, how to incorporate these food materials, these nutrients, and these food materials into our diet is very important. Now, scent leaves can actually be used to make salads. In place of lettuce, we can use scent leaves. We just blanch the scent leaves a bit and then chop it up with our cucumber, with a bit of our bell peppers, with a bit of our cabbage. We blanch cabbage, we mix it up together, and then we have our salads already. And then we also have the salad dressings that should be made from avocado. Avocado salad dressing, Greek yogurt salad dressing. Yogurt is probiotic. And we only would not have yogurt as in between meal. We can also have yogurt as a salad dressing. So what we have to do is to see that we look for ways to add these food materials into our diet as many ways as we can. Not the
As
traditional way of
possible.
having yogurt in between our meal
Yeah,
or in the morning.
yeah.
We can also use it as part of our salad dressing. Let's dish the salad dressing that has a lot of egg yolks. Let's dish those ones and let's make our food from scratch. And it's even blocking is avocado season. So yes, we can use avocados with a bit of ginger, garlic, with a bit of turmeric, the recipes and the ebook. And I'll be sharing some of the recipes also on Sapphire page. I'll tag you alongside so that your followers can also have access to some of these recipes. So yes, we
Thank
have to see how we add these food materials. And then so we have 3 main meals in a day. We can't limit ourselves to having all the nutrients in one meal because truthfully, excuse me, we can't have all the nutrients in one meal. we have to eat a variety of meals. We have to eat a variety of meals to get all the nutrients that we need. So if we have our pap as breakfast, maybe pap and moi moi as breakfast, we've gotten a bit of probiotics in the pap.
Yeah.
We could add a bit of black seed to the pap if we have done onion peel therapy in the morning. For lunch, we can have our rice with scent leaf sauce, or rice with mixed vegetable sauce. Mixed vegetable also comes with scent leaf. Or we can have just rice, rice with scent leaf sauce. Now, in this rice, we can add turmeric powder to the rice. It's called turmeric rice. So, after we have washed the rice, we don't have to parboil, because when we parboil unpolished rice, we are losing some of the B1 vitamin. So we just wash the rice, and then as we start cooking, we add the turmeric powder from the beginning. So by the time we are done cooking the rice, it's not whitish in color. It is orange in color. So that's turmeric rice. Now we can have this turmeric rice with our stew. We can have it with mixed vegetable sauce, carrots, bell pepper, with ginger, garlic, and a bit of cabbage chopped all together. So we have had the orange onion peel in the morning. We have had our pap with moi moi in the afternoon. We have had our rice, turmeric rice, for lunch. And then for supper, we can just decide to do salad. We can do garden egg salad for supper, or we can just decide to have whole beetroot cut into bits for beetroot with cucumber for supper. And then in between our meals, we can have either baobab drink, or we can have baobab drink is high in vitamin C, or we can have hibiscus drink as well as our in between meal. Then, because we have had probiotic for breakfast, we have had pap for breakfast. We may not have need to have yogurt that day again. So the next day we're not having pap for breakfast, we're having something like oats for breakfast. We cannot have like yogurt as an in-between meal. So the thing is, we have to see how to spread food materials to balance. So we can't just say, okay, today I'm taking yogurt. No, we can't just dwell on yogurt. We can't just dwell on pap. We have to spread it through the day. We can't just dwell on oranges. We have to see that we have them, in the right quantity, in bits and pieces. At the end of the day, we'll be able to have met up to our RDA for each of the nutrients, and also the antioxidants that we need as well. We'll have been able to get enough of it in the diet. So we recommend eating 3 main meals in a day: breakfast, lunch, and supper. It can be yogurt, it can be fruit or vegetable juices. They come in between the meal. And you can also have your nuts as part of your breakfast cereal. So your nuts can come as part of your oats in the morning. In all of these recommendations, portion sizes are key. We can't just dwell on eating just nutritious meals. We have to also ensure that we have these nutritious meals in the right quantity. So the portion size of it is what gives us the most benefit. If you decide to sit with a whole cup
so for boosting immunity now, of course, we have to approach it in a different way from, let's say there's somebody who is not worrying about excess weight, and the person is thinking these foods, how can the person portion it in a way that they're focusing more on boosting their immunity than, they are trying to portion it? Because the common thing that you see would be people trying to portion their meals to reduce excess calories. So moving away from, counting calories, we're focusing on now on boosting immunity. Yes.
Okay.
Can we talk about portion control?
Okay, portion control, because we also have toxicity of whatever nutrients that we are recommending. And then portion control, because if we eat these meals, in as much as people might be thinking ginger, garlic, these food materials can make the food, turmeric, it can make the food really taste. How will it even taste, But however, these meals are very, very sumptuous. Like they can be really sumptuous. Remember, you're going to add your chicken to it. You're going to add your fish to it. they are going to be very, very. You also have to grill. You grill with all your immune boosting spices, a bit of your ginger, garlic. You add a bit of Royco seasoning to it when you're mixing up. You know, you do the what have you, and then you marinate. It comes out really tasty. So it can be really tasty, and then you can be tempted to have more portion than what you ordinarily would have. That can lead to weight gain if you don't control the quantity you consume. And when you are gaining more weight, we are in lockdown. Even if the country is trying to get back to what it is, it's not gotten back yet, and we don't know when it will actually get back. So we're actually trying to do a lot of things collectively, and then do a lot of things online. So we are not moving about as much as we were previously moving. Gyms are not open, so people are not going to the gym to exercise. So people are most likely, people are scared to go out to do things. So people are not even going out to exercise as well. They're not taking walks. So there's tendency of us there's likelihood of us to consume much more calories than we are expending. So if we don't consciously watch it, we may have much more quantity. And when we are overweight, we actually can come up with some other diagnosis. So we just have to watch it. But the thing is, if you're having your portion sizes, the regular eating plates, try to have as much as 1/3 of a plate. The plate should be filled with vegetables. Then the other part should be filled with your carbohydrates, a bit of your protein, and then a bit of rice, a bit of beans, and then your meat if you're having meat with the food. But ensure that you always have vegetables. Vegetables helps to control the portion. And try not to fry your foods at all, because frying foods adds to the calorie content of the food. So try not to fry your food at all. Instead, you grill your food or you boil. So portion control is very important. And when you eat 3 times in a day as recommended, you're able to not only get as much nutrients as you need, but you're also able to eat smaller portion sizes of meals. If you eat once in a day, maybe you don't eat until 12. At 12 o'clock, you're already hungry. So you tend to eat much more than you would have if you had your breakfast. All right. So if you have 3 meals in a day, you can eat small, but frequent meals. So that way you're able to smaller portions, and
it also helps. And I'm also of there are so many schools of thought, but I would always rather have people who would eat smaller portions of food and try to eat more and try to increase get the book. I want to come and get this book, because this book is definitely packed. I mean, from you going on and talking, I just want to lay my hands on this book. It's definitely packed. So guys, please go and get this. Our everyday meals with what you have recommended so far, we would say that it was definitely a very beneficial session. So very well done, and thank you on that. By way of conclusion, let's just wrap it up. And what are the most important points, right? What are the most important points that you would say, these are my top tips for this period with regards to boosting immunity?
Okay, the first one is the morning therapy. Morning therapy is very important because in the morning, the nutrients, the food materials, in the nutrients in the food materials consumed are not competing for absorption with any other food. It's on empty stomach. Yeah. So it's going to be very well absorbed. Yes. The next thing is we have to look away from just consuming vitamin C to looking at other nutrients that we need, like probiotics and probiotics like the zinc,